Hello again, it's Dr. Mike with another medical 3D printing video. If you followed my prior videos on how to use the new embodied imaged service to convert your CT scans to 3D printable bones for free, that's great. Be sure to check those out. It's really easy, and I think that this service is a real game changer just because it takes something that's previously been extremely complicated and turns it into something that's now quite simple and doesn't take very much time. Today we're going to talk about how to take advantage and get the most out of the service by sharing, selling, and reprocessing the files that you make using the service on the Embodied website. So once you make your 3D printable bone file, you have the option to share it with the community for free, or if you like, you can sell it and generate a little income out of it if you think that the file is really something special that people are willing to pay for. And of course, if the file didn't turn out exactly the way you wanted and you'd like to tweak some of the processing settings, you can do that without having to re-upload it. You just change the settings and can resubmit it for processing, and you'll get another STL file for 3D printing. So we'll go over all of that today. So if you go to the Embodied website, make sure you're logged in. If you don't have an account, go ahead and sign up. It's free and only takes about a minute to set up. And go to the files that you've created. So you can find those under your profile. Those will be down here. You can go to My Activity and see all of your files. Here they are, files. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is you can just go to Download and look under Image Processing, and all of your files that you've submitted should be there. So these two I submitted. So let's go ahead and let's take this lumbar spine file that I generated in the last tutorial. Actually, let's go back and select the NRRD file that I used to submit that lumbar, or to create that lumbar spine file. So what I'm going to do is, if I want to submit these for reprocessing, say I want to change some of the processing parameters, you can go to File Actions, Edit Details. Okay, and it'll bring up the form that you used to originally submit that NRRD file for processing. And here under Image Processing are the parameters. Right now there's only one operation that you can do, which is to convert a CT scan in NRRD format to a bone model in STL format. Let's say I want to alter the threshold. This is in Hounsfield units, and if 150 Hounsfield units, which is a degree of density for the X-ray beam as it passes through in generating the scan, say I want to change this to another number, say 200. Or I want to adjust the quality and make it medium because I want the file to be a little smaller. Or say if it's already on medium and I want it to be high because I want a little bit better resolution and I don't mind if the file is very large. You can make those changes there, and even though we've already submitted this file for processing, when you click Save again, because you've turned on this Image Processing tab, the file will be resubmitted and processed again. So let's go ahead and click Save. And now what's happened is our original NRRD file has been sent for reprocessing using our change parameters. So we'll get another STL file in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I'll look out my email mailbox for email notification that says my file is done, and when it's ready, it should be visible under the image processing category, just like all these other files. You can see that now this file is now at the top of the list because it's been resubmitted. Okay, So that's how you reprocess a file. It's pretty easy. Now let's say you want to change the privacy parameters of your file. Currently this lumbar spine file that I made in the last tutorial is public, but if I want to make it private, I can toggle that by clicking on the privacy setting right there, and I can make it private. Okay, so now it's private. Now if I were to launch an incognito window which is not logged into my Embodied account, and I go to downloads and image processing, that lumbar spine is not there, so can't see it. But again, I can toggle that and make that public, and if I refresh this page, I should be able to see it. Well, let's make sure that that toggled. And refresh. There it is. Okay, so now my lumbar spine is publicly visible. Now if I want to change some of the other more detailed visibility items, I can go to File Actions, Edit Details, and I can change the description, change the title, but I can also change, for example, this is a shared file. Right now I'm giving it away for free, but I can change the Creative Commons license that I'm using for this. So it can be non-commercial or no derivatives or share alike. These are standard Creative Commons licenses, so anyone who's going to download your file has to agree to the Creative Commons license before they download it. And you can read more about the specifics of the Creative Commons licenses on the website, or you can Google them. They're pretty standard for content on the internet, so that allows you to control how your file is being used. So let's say I want to share that, and I can click Save, and then that's done. So my file is now publicly visible under this new license type. Now what if I want to sell the file? I mean, what if I put a lot of effort into generating this file, and I think that people would be willing to pay for it, and I don't want to give it away, I want to sell it. Well, that's fine. It's your file, so you can do whatever you like with it. Go back to File Actions and Edit Details again, and under File Type you select Paid and specify a price that you want, $4.99, whatever you think is appropriate. You know, maybe you want to make it more or less. That's fine. Renewals you don't need to worry about, that's for renewable items. The file has to be shared. If you make a file private and you're trying to sell it and nobody can see it, well, you're not going to get any sales. But if you do have a paid file, you should not select one of the free Creative Commons licenses. You should select the general paid file license, which basically says that the person who pays for the file and downloads it can make one 3D print of it, but can't go ahead and resell it or anything like that. And you can supply your own license if you want to. If you happen to be a big seller and have had an attorney draft your own customized license, that's fine. Go ahead and put that license in the description up here. But most people haven't had time to do that, and they probably don't want to bother, so you can just use the general paid file license, and that's available elsewhere on the Embodied website. If you dig around, you can find the licenses, and we don't want to submit that for reprocessing, so we're going to leave that off. And so now this is a file that's for sale for $4.99. If somebody purchases it, you will get 85%, approximately 85% of that $4.99, with a small transaction fee to cover the cost of the sale. People can buy the file with PayPal. So I'm going to click Save. Okay, so now my lumbar spine file that I generated is publicly available and it is listed for sale. Let me go ahead and see if that's reflected. Might take a few moments. I'm going to go, this is my browser that's not logged into the website, so when I see this, there we go. So now it says you can buy this file for $4.99. Okay, so that's very helpful. And the final thing I wanted to show you is how to move your file. So if you look at the Embodied website and you go to the downloads area, you can see that there are a variety of categories. So bones, musculoskeletal, cardiac and vascular, brain and nervous system, etc. And what do you do if you want to move your file out of the processing category, which is primarily just for you to submit your files? It's not really intended for distribution. You want to put it in a place where people can find it. So this lumbar spine is a spine file, and that would go under bone and musculoskeletal, probably spine and pelvis. So if I want to move my file, I go back to the file page, again click on File Actions and select Move. Okay, so select that, and I'll be asked where I want to move it to, and I say bone and musculoskeletal, and I can choose any one of these categories, but I will say bone and musculoskeletal, spine and pelvis, and I'm going to move that. Okay, now this lumbar spine is available in the spine and pelvis category. So if I go to bone and musculoskeletal, spine and pelvis, this is in my browser that's not logged in. And there is my new lumbar spine model for sale for $4.99. Okay, so the imaged 3D printing maker, this automated service, is really amazing because it can, of course, make 3D printable bone models very, very easily. You no longer have to spend thousands of dollars on customized software, proprietary software, or spend months and months learning how to use very difficult to learn free and open source software in order to make 3D printable models from medical scans. And you can share those models, sell them if you prefer, and move them around the website, and give back to the community in that fashion by sharing your work. So I hope you found this tutorial to be helpful. Thank you very much. If you like it, click thumbs up and subscribe, and happy 3D printing.